Potter profile on Luna Lovegood. Luna was born on the 13th of February 1981 and is the only child of Xeraphelius and Pandora Lovegood. When Luna was only 9 years old, she witnessed the tragic death of her mother, who was experimenting with one of her own spells which sadly backfired. Because Luna had witnessed her mother's death, when she arrived at Hogwarts on the 1st of September 1992, she was able to see the Thestrals who pushed the Hogwarts carriages. Thestrals are magical creatures that look like skeletal black-winged horses that can only be seen by witches or wizards who have knowingly seen death. Luna was sorted into Ravenclaw House and was often bullied because of her strange beliefs and behaviour, which led to many students calling her Luna Lovegood. Despite the bullying, Luna became good friends with Ginny Weasley, who was in the same year as her. In 1994, Luna attended the Quidditch World Cup with her father. Luna chose divination as one of her elective subjects, and it is also believed she picked the study of ancient ruins, as she was seen reading an article about ruins in the Quibbler. In her 4th year, she became friends with Harry Potter, Ron Weasley, Hermione Granger and Neville Longbottom. Luna believed Harry that Voldemort had returned and was later invited to the first Dumbledore's Army meeting in the Hog's Head. In an attempt to make other witches and wizards believe Harry's story, Hermione, with the help from Luna, arranged an interview for Harry to tell the truth about Voldemort's return with Rita Skeeter, who instead of writing for the Daily Prophet, will publish the article in the Quibbler. The copy of Harry's interview sold out instantly. Dolores Umbridge tried to hide the article from the rest of the Hogwarts students by creating a new educational decree stating any copy of the Quibbler was banned on school grounds, which had the opposite effect, as everyone now wanted to read the article as they were so intrigued to find out why it had been banned. Near the end of the year, Harry had a vision about Sirius Black being tortured by Voldemort in the Department of Mysteries. As Harry had a previous vision about Arthur Weasley being attacked by Nagini, which saved Arthur's life, Harry was extremely alarmed by this vision. Luna and Ginny were on the lookout, while Harry and Hermione snuck into Professor Umbridge's office to use the fireplace to contact Sirius. However, the group was caught by Umbridge and the Inquisitorial Squad. The group were gagged and restrained, but Luna didn't seem bothered by this and instead stared out the window dreamily as if she was bored. When Hermione and Harry convinced Umbridge to follow them into the Forbidden Forest to show her Dumbledore's secret weapon, Luna, Ginny, Ron and Neville, Hex and Jinx the Inquisitorial Squad, and all met with Harry and Hermione in the Forbidden Forest, where the group wondered how they were going to get to the Ministry of Magic. Luna suggested they could fly over to the Ministry on the Thestrals. As Luna, Harry and Neville were the only members of the group who could see the Thestrals, Luna assisted Ron, Hermione and Ginny, and then mounted her own Thestral in a side saddle, as though she did this every day. When the group got into the Ministry and entered the Department of Mysteries, Luna, Harry and Neville could all hear the voices from beyond the veil. After finding the Prophecy Orb with Harry's name on it, the group were trapped by 12 Death Eaters led by Lucius Malfoy. Luna fought in the battle against the Death Eaters, using all the skills she had learnt while being in the DA. Luna protected Ron after he had been hit by a spell that caused him to find everything amusing. Luna also attacked a Death Eater who had got a hold of Ginny's ankle and used the Reducto Curse to blow up a model of Pluto in the Death Eater's face. However, the spell was so powerful that it also shattered Ginny's ankle by accident. Luna helped Ron and Ginny until the group finally met up with Harry and Neville. Luna was the last DA member standing until she was stunned by a Death Eater that blasted her across the room. Luna managed to regain consciousness just before the battle had ended and went back to Hogwarts with barely any injuries. Before the year had ended, Luna spoke to Harry, who was still mourning over the loss of his godfather Sirius Black. Luna opened up to Harry and told him about her mother's death, and how although she misses her dearly, she knows that one day she will see her again, which Harry found very comforting. During her summer holiday, Luna and her father went to Sweden to try and catch a Crumblehorn Snorkack, using the money they had received from the Daily Prophet for a reprint of Harry's interview. This year was the start of Luna's OWL year at Hogwarts. When she arrived on the Hogwarts Express, She shared a compartment with Harry and Neville. Luna held up another edition of the Quibbler and proudly told Harry that the Quibbler was still going strong because of his interview. She then pulled out a pair of spectre specs from the Quibbler, which apparently helps the wearer see rat sparks. Luna was gutted to hear that the DA was not going to return for the following year, as there was no longer a need for it. While on the Hogwarts Express, Romilda entered the compartment to try and get Harry to sit with her and her friends, and said that Harry didn't have to sit with Luna and Neville. Harry responded very coldly towards her and told her proudly that Luna and Neville were his friends, which took Romilda by surprise and left. Luna told Harry it was okay for him to go and sit with Romilda, as most people would expect Harry to associate himself with cooler people. Harry told her that herself and Neville were cool, and he considered both of them to be one of his closest and most trustworthy friends. During the Christmas term, Luna found Hermione crying in the girls' toilets after Ron mocked her during Transfiguration and comforted her. Harry came looking for Hermione to check if she was okay, as well as giving her books back which she left in the classroom. When Hermione left, Harry asked Luna if she would be interested in going to Slughorn's Christmas party with him as friends. Luna was very excited and was surprised to be asked, but accepted his invitation. So, have you had a good term? Oh, it's been alright. A bit lonely without the DA. Ginny's been nice though. She stopped 2 boys in our Transfiguration class calling me Loony the other day. How would you like to come with me to Slughorn's party tonight? Slughorn's party? With you? Yeah, we're supposed to bring guests, so I thought you might like... I mean, just as friends, you know, but if you don't want to... Oh no, I would love to go with you as friends. Nobody's ever asked me to a party before. As a friend. Luna wore a silver set of spangled robes to the party, but in the film, she wore a light pink and silver dress to resemble the flow of a Christmas tree. Her attire caused some students to laugh at her. During the party, she met Sanguni, who was a vampire, which Luna found fascinating. When Snape sneered at Harry for wanting to become an Auror, Luna started telling everyone about the Rotfang conspiracy, which made Harry laugh so much that mead came out of his nose. I don't think you should be an Auror, Harry. The Aurors are part of the Rotfang conspiracy. I thought everyone knew about that. They're working to bring down the Ministry of Magic from within using a combination of dark magic and gum disease. Luna continued talking about the Rotfang conspiracy to Professor Trelawney, who was the only person who wanted to find out more. When Hufflepuff played against Gryffindor, Luna became the temporary Quidditch commentator as Zachariah Smith, the official commentator, was playing the match. Luna's commentary was highly amusing, as she often forgot players' names and would go off on tangents like stating that Zachariah Smith was suffering from loser's lurgy because he couldn't keep a hold of the quaffle for more than a minute. Or Luna would get distracted by her surroundings and would comment on an oddly shaped cloud. Luna often forgot to report the score, so Professor McGonagall would report the score instead. Luna was one of the students who was trusted to give Harry a note from Dumbledore about coming to his office for a private lesson. At the end of the school term, the castle was attacked by Death Eaters. Luna, alongside other DA members, participated in the Battle of the Astronomy Tower. Harry asked Luna and Ginny to watch Snape's office, but when they got there, Snape told them that they needed to look after Professor Flitwick, who he claimed had collapsed. Harry gave the DA members the rest of his Felix Felicis, otherwise known as Liquid Luck, which made each member almost untouchable in the battle against the Death Eaters, except Neville, who was slightly injured. Luna helped Neville into his seat when they attended Dumbledore's funeral at the end of the year. On the 1st of August 1997, Luna and her father were invited to Bill's and Fleur's wedding at the Burrow. Luna was the only person who recognised Harry, who was disguised as a Weasley using Polyjuice Potion. She said she could recognise it was Harry by his facial expressions. Luna and her father both wore yellow robes. Luna accessorised hers by putting a sunflower in her hair. Xerophilius Lovegood believed that wearing yellow at a wedding brought good luck. Luna sat at the table with her friends Harry, Ron and Hermione. Luna had been bitten by a gnome prior to the wedding. The gnome's saliva influenced her to start dancing on the floor with her arms raised above her head, which caused other guests to stare at her. That same day, The ministry had fallen to the Death Eaters, which meant that Hogwarts was now under the control of Voldemort. Luna's 6th year at Hogwarts had changed drastically. Severus Snape was now headmaster at Hogwarts and had appointed the Carrows as punishers. When Luna arrived back at Hogwarts, Luna, Ginny and Neville all tried to steal the Sword of Gryffindor, which was believed to still be at the headmaster's office, to give to Harry, but the trio was caught by Snape and were sent into the Forbidden Forest with Hagrid as punishment. The Silver Trio revived Dumbledore's army, which aimed to try and sabotage the Death Eaters' power at Hogwarts, as well as supporting Harry as much as possible. Over the Christmas holidays, Luna was captured by the Death Eaters as punishment for her father for supporting Harry in the Quibbler. The Death Eaters told Xeraphilius that Luna was locked up in Azkaban, when she was actually imprisoned in Malfoy Manor alongside Ollivander. Xeraphilius was so desperate to get Luna back home safely that he tried to turn Harry, Ron and Hermione in when they came over to ask about the meaning of the Deathly Hallows. The trio escaped but made sure they were seen by the Death Eaters so Xeraphilius and Luna would not be harmed. While Luna was at Malfoy Manor, Luna was imprisoned with Dean Thomas, Griphook and Ollivander. The prisoners were soon joined by Ron and Harry, whose face had been distorted, as they had been caught by the Snatchers, while Hermione was upstairs being tortured by Bellatrix. Luna helped release her cellmates by cutting their ropes. Dobby arrived to help free the other prisoners and took Luna, Dean and Ollivander to Bill and Fleur's home at the Shell Cottage. Luna stayed at Shell Cottage until the Battle of Hogwarts. When the trio arrived after being rescued from Malfoy Manor, Luna came to help bury Dobby and closed his eyes to make him look at peace. She also gave a very touching eulogy at his funeral, thanking him for rescuing her and her friends. While at the cottage, Ollivander made her a new wand, since her wand had been taken by a Death Eater when she was captured. Luna also developed a strong friendship with Dean Thomas after the experience they shared together. In May, Luna returned to Hogwarts just in time for Harry's return to Hogwarts, where all of Dumbledore's army was assembled. When Harry asked all the Ravenclaw members of the DA if they knew of an item that belonged to Rowena Ravenclaw, although in the film adaptation Harry asked all the members of the DA, Luna confidently mentioned the lost diadem of Ravenclaw, and took Harry to the Ravenclaw common room to show him a replica of the diadem so he would know what he was looking for. On her way there, Luna had to stun Electo Carrow, who was waiting for them on Voldemort's orders. When the Hogwarts students were given the choice to stay and fight, Luna stood by her DA members, as well as her professors and Order members, to fight against Voldemort and his army. It is unknown what happened to Luna after taking Harry to Ravenclaw Tower, but we know Luna, alongside Early Macmillan and Seamus Finnegan, helped the Golden Trio from a Dementor attack by casting each of their Patronuses. No matter how hard they tried, their Patronus was not strong enough. Luna encouraged Harry to think of a happy thought. That's right, Harry. Come on, think of something happy. Something happy? We're all still here. We're still fighting. Come on now. Thanks to Luna's support, Harry managed to produce a Patronus that was powerful enough to make the Dementors disappear. Luna went back to fight into the battle and was present when Voldemort declared that Harry was dead and witnessed Neville stand up to Voldemort and was consequently set on fire. In the film adaptation, he was blasted backwards and was knocked out. During the final stages of the battle, Luna alongside Hermione and Ginny fought against Bellatrix Lestrange. Bellatrix cast a killing curse at Ginny, which just missed her. This was witnessed by Molly Weasley, who stepped in to defend her daughter and killed Bellatrix. Luna witnessed the final battle between Lord Voldemort and Harry. After Harry's victory, Luna created a small diversion to allow the Golden Trio to get away and have a break from the celebrations. Luna became a very famous wizarding naturalist who discovered and classified many new species of animal. Though, alas, she never did find a crumplehorn snorkack, and had, finally, to accept that her father might have made that one up. Luna married Rolf Scamander, who was the grandson of Newt Scamander, the famous author of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Luna wore a spectacular dress for her wedding, which was decorated with rainbows and spangles and a beautiful tiara of silver unicorn horns. The dress, however, was voted as the most hideous outfit of the year by Rita Skeeter's readers in the Daily Prophet. Luna and Rolf Scamander had twin boys, Lorcan and Lysander. At the 2014 Quidditch World Cup, Luna and Rolf met up with their friends in the DA for the reunion. In true Luna style, she wore robes made out of all 16 qualifying countries. The DA members sat in one of the VIP boxes. During the match, Rolf held her hand, which apparently was an attempt to stop her from putting on one of her famous special event hats. In 2019, Luna met with a member of the new Statue of Secrecy task force and amazed them with her knowledge on magical creatures and how to protect them. Luna later on instructed them how to perform a stamina charm to enhance the spell casting. Luna allowed a few members of the task force to accompany her on her mission to find Bowtruckles and Thunderbirds. Luna then showed the task force members how to detect and protect themselves as well as improving their focus.